And welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto markets. That includes some majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, NFTs, Pokemon cards, random shitcoins, everything else under the sun. Today, we're going to talk about Logan Paul's record Pokemon card sale. We're going to talk about a new NFT runner and whether or not alt season is finally here. We're going to debate that once again. If you're listening today, glad to have you. Thanks for sticking around with us. Thanks for hanging out. Little 3-day weekend after President's Day. So thank you for joining us. If you're listening over on X, give us a like, retweet, bookmark, comment. Let us know what you're talking about. Push us out there in the algorithm. If you're listening over on YouTube, drop a comment. What are you buying? What are you selling? Are you trading NFTs? Are you just trading on Polymarket? Are you in Euphoria's new up-down markets? What are you doing? And if you're listening over on Zora, give us a comment. We'll be reading those as well. I'm joined today by Easy. Easy, how was your long weekend?
It was good, man. How was yours?
It was okay. So I like smashed my ankle the previous Sunday, and then this weekend, the swelling like kind of like started to go down a bit, and now it's just like hurting. So a lot of pain. Did too much this weekend. I think we hosted the nieces and nephews for Valentine's Day, so a lot of cleaning, a lot of chasing toddlers around, and I paid the price for it on Sunday and Monday, but
I'll do it.
Yeah, hanging in there. I got my foot like up on a like footrest under my desk today to kind of keep it as elevated as possible. But we'll fight through and we'll keep rolling. Yeah, there's a ton to talk about today. Did you see the Logan Paul sale?
I did. I traded it.
Let's go. What'd you trade?
I took the main thing I actually took was the Charizard. That was the one I ended up trading because I was like, if they're gonna scam pump the shit out of this Pikachu, I think we're gonna see the Charizard catch up. So I ended up buying when I saw the Pikachu continue to get a couple more sales. I was like, okay, I think this will end up pushing. I bought over 800 and over 900K.
So over 900K, you could have gotten all the way down at 20%. Over 800 was basically a coin flip up until resolution.
Yeah, so I ended up buying 8, 9, and actually I bought a couple of shares of a mill. So I lost on the mill, hit on 8 and 9. Took under 12 on the Pikachu, which was just a dumb decision. But I ended up walking away in the profit. Barely, but somehow.
I didn't trade any of these. I wish I did because I was pretty much spot on. I wouldn't have went too high. I think I was saying like 7, 8, and 8 for the Charizard make a lot of sense towards the beginning because if Pikachu is going to push like 8, 9 mil, which like I also would have taken, this would have pumped like kind of the same mindset. I definitely wouldn't have went up as high as Pikachu went. Like that was nuts.
It just kept going, dude.
Really just kept going. This thing ended up clearing 16 mil, which is wild.
We should have known though. Like.
I mean, I thought like 10, like I was like 10 was like the question mark for me, where I was like, I don't know if it's gonna get over 10 or not. I mean, 10 was as low as like 30%. But 16, like you could have traded 16, like sub 10%, like 4 or 5%, 20x on that one for the Pikachu sale. Absolute wild stuff. This thing ended up closing at about 16.5 mil. Which is crazy. I didn't follow this live, so I'm curious, like looking back to see what happened here, because it closed at 10, right? And then we had the like the 30-minute extensions on bids. So at 10 o'clock, a bid came in right at the dot at 6.1, and then it was all the way up to 10 million by 10:15. So pretty wild over the span of like 15 minutes to go all the way up there. Continued its run all the way up until it closed at 12:44 a.m. 13.3 million before the buyer's fees. 3 million worth of buyer's fees for that one. We talked about like the buyer potentially hedging out via the Polymarket trade, being able to get like a deal. If you're like planning on buying it for 15, 16 mil as your target, you always take over on these and hit like a huge X. Because there was decent volume. There's $1.8 million worth of volume on the greater than 15 mil market on Polymarket. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff you can do with these auctions, trading like derivatives off it, especially if you're a bidder. Crazy stuff, though. I saw someone posted Logan Paul was taking these markets as well.
They found his PFP and said that it was the one trading over 12 and over 14 or something like that. So he made some money on it.
Yeah, like he tweeted during the Super Bowl, and apparently the way Polymarket works is it generates a like color with your wallet,
a completely unique color.
Yeah, and the one that was bidding, the fresh wallet that was bidding on 12 and 14 happened to match the color that Logan Paul shared on X when he tweeted during the Super Bowl about Polymarket. So pretty interesting stuff there on the Polymarket side. We're gonna dive into more Polymarket stuff, but easy. I just shot over the weather report in the private chat. Why don't we kick this off, and then we'll dive into some of these stories.
Yeah, 1 second. I want to figure out why my lamps or my light's not working. I figured out why. Okay, give me 2 seconds.
Was it turned on?
Yeah, now we're good. It was plugged into my Mac Studio, which I'm trying to reset to set up Claudebot.
Let's go. We'll talk about that today too.
Yeah, finally. I've been so lazy about it. All right, let's get into it. Today is Tuesday, February 17th. The majors chopped over the weekend with Bitcoin at 68K, Ethereum just under 2,000, Solana at $84, and Hyperliquid back under $30. Over the past weekend, BTC ETFs recorded their 4th straight week of net outflows. As markets continue to pull back, the odds of Bitcoin hitting 80K in February have dropped to just 10% on Polymarket. Dun, dun, dun. Next up, Strategy acquired $168 million of Bitcoin at an average price of 67.7K. Who keeps selling this man the top? Every single time. Every week. Never fails. I'm shocked it wasn't over 70K. They now hold 717,000 Bitcoin worth just under 49 billion at an average price of 76K. Finally, Peter Steinberger, the creator of OpenClaw, joined OpenAI over the weekend. It came as a shock as the OpenClaw platform defaults to Anthropic's AI models. When asked about the move, Peter said that Anthropic only sent love letters from legal. He also said that he hates crypto.
Excellent weather report, as always. Easy. I didn't catch that clip. I didn't watch it yet. Of him talking about like crypto and like how it turned him off. Do you have like a summary of like what was said there?
Yeah, I quote tweeted it actually. Quote tweeted it. He said he almost deleted the entire code base because of crypto. I didn't know that they're just not good at harassment. They're also really good at using scripts and tools. I underestimated these people, and honestly, I was just that close to just deleting it. So play that video right there.
This is 5 minutes.
Oh, never mind. Don't play the full video. Basically, it's that one sentence.
I got a quote here. Yeah. Okay, that's the one you said. They're also really good at using script tools. Just close to deleting it. Interesting. Yes, I mean it's a tough look for crypto. Eli Scheinman in the comments calling out Frank and Thread Guy, saying this is a largely a function of the trencher culture you helped build. The most important thing you can do for the industry now is to change these norms for the positive. I mean, people who are outside of crypto who are building serious things often have this perspective of crypto, because when they're like posting on Twitter, which is like a big place for Discord and tech, like they're being met with like immediately people are essentially launching tokens for them to claim, and then like harassing them to either claim the token or claim their fees or like adopt it. And what they do, they're stuck in that like absolute death loop of crypto. So it's definitely not a great place to be, for sure. I think Nikita Beer posted something along the lines of like trying to fight against it, saying that like he's going to restrict apps that allow claiming of tokens, which is kind of like a big thing for like a lot of the meme coins, because a lot of them are like predicated on like allocating fees to people on Twitter with that hope. I think it's like the Bags app specifically is very heavily like dependent on that. So that's like an interesting thing to look at. Nikita also kind of hammered down, while we're talking about like AI and stuff, detection for automation and spam. The human is not tapping on the screen. The account and all associated accounts will likely be suspended, even if you're just experimenting. While we aim to support legitimate use cases of agents, this will take some time to do properly. For now, we recommend holding off on plugging in your bots. If it's critical, you can use the official API. So that's like pretty big, because I know a lot of people were like circumventing Twitter API by having like basically browser-based scraping bots looking at the timeline and like basically doing everything you could with the API, but just doing it via automated browser that's like hard to detect. So be careful if you're someone who's been doing that. The last thing you want is your account suspended, especially if you have any sort of following brand built up. So want to flag that as something to be careful with as well. Speaking of browser automation, speaking of AI, speaking of Peter Steinberg and OpenClaw, you said you were setting up your OpenClaw. Have you started yet on the Mac?
I was going to, and now my Mac's not populating Wi-Fi when I restarted it. When I just reset it, it doesn't even show like a Wi-Fi connection. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll just do it later.
Yeah. If you're doing that, I recommend installing Claude Code almost immediately and just having that set it up for you, like working on the setup of that makes it loads easier.
Just have Claude Code do it.
Yeah, like install it and then say like, hey, Claude Code, this is OpenClaw. Here's what I want to do with it. Set up the proper settings, because it just makes it so much easier. And you can also kind of make it a bit more secure if you say like, hey, I want to make sure I don't have access to X, Y, and Z. You want to give it all these other things. So I think it helps speed up the process, make it a little easier, and also more intuitive.
I like it. I got to try it. I haven't, obviously. So
yeah,
I got to mess around with it.
Yeah, it's cool for some things. I mean, you're somebody who's been pretty native AI for a bit now. I think people who've been pretty native AI for a bit find it a little less impressive. I know Nick's been really hammering it with some of the stuff.
He's like obsessed with it.
Yeah, because you can do a lot of things like memory, agent management. You can have like, it's very easy to set up recurring jobs, set up agent teams, swarms, etc. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with it, but like there's like a gap somewhere in between like the very end use case and like the very beginner, where it's like kind of like, well, I would just rather use Claude Code. So I'm trying to.
That's why I'm like torn on it. That's why it's taking me so long to use it, because I'm like, dude, I could just use Claude Code.
Yeah, I feel the same way, but I think like that uncomfortability trying to push and use it is going to be beneficial. Just learning about like swarms. So like that's why I'm trying to like push myself to use it more and more, rather than just like going Claude Code straight out of the gates. A lot to talk about. We talked about OpenClaw, Peter Steinberg. We talked about strategy. Their 76K average buy basically sitting there. Continue to buy Bitcoin at the market. There was a big celebration by MicroStrategy supporters. The STRC stretch yield offering hit par on dividend day last week, which was, I believe, Friday. Hit $100. Anything over $100 they can sell and buy Bitcoin at the market. That's actually still holding up after their ex-dividend date. So the way that STRC works, so the way STRC works, they offer, I think, 11.5% yield, which is pretty crazy. It's paid out monthly. So 11.5 divided by 12 is like something like 0.975 percent per share, like 97 cents per share. The shares, basically you hold them until the ex-dividend date. So anybody holding on February 12th gets the dividend, and then afterwards you can sell. You'll still get the dividend. Whoever buys the stock won't get the dividend until the following month. So that date passed on Friday, and we saw the price basically hold steady. I think it's like still at like 99.70 or 99.80. So big win for MicroStrategy. I've been dabbling with this STRC, and basically my goal is buying in when it's like any kind of fear or dip. Like it dropped down to $94 during the strategy earnings call. And you still earn, if you buy at $94, you're still earning interest, 11.5% interest at $100. So if you're buying below par value, you're actually earning higher than 11% interest. And also it's not taxed as normal income. So it really is an interesting product if you believe in MicroStrategy and you believe that the execution and protocol risk aren't there on the MicroStrategy side. So I've been parking a little bit of capital there. I've always been looking for like ways to like maximize just free cash over a Robinhood, like 3.3% yield. So that's what I've been playing around with over on the STRC side. Some big news there. Bitcoin ETFs continue to drop down. 4 weeks of outflows. We're seeing other alts kind of hold steady. I've seen this post by Sunrunner kind of move around. He got highlighted by Chumbawamba on X as an account that's done like a good job in terms of TA and research. He's basically saying that the basically ratio of total market cap of the top 10 to Bitcoin could potentially be approaching a breakout. Post by the great Matsby here showing that this is the first weekly candle close above the 50-week moving average for other tokens over Bitcoin. So we're seeing a little bit of strength of altcoins versus Bitcoin that we haven't seen in over a year. It's hard to like notice this though, since everything's been down. If you were to be placing bets right now, Easy, are you placing bets DCAing into Bitcoin or DCAing into altcoins would be my question.
I kind of want to go into alts, to be honest. Like, I just feel like they may have higher upside here. Like Zcash is interesting, Monero is interesting, probably more Monero. Solana's still interesting to me. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to say. It's really tough to say.
You've always been a pretty big Monero bull.
I like Monero
for a while. This
still
is
holding higher lows.
Look at this thing. Like this thing wicked up to $800 and it's now down to 330 1 month later. This is the
actually
month.
Insane.
Yeah, let's bring up the weekly. Get a more granular look here.
Actually so insane.
Yes, I mean this is basically levels that weren't available since like October of last year. Still like basically in the middle of a MACD curl on the downside. On the daily, it looks like it's beginning to flip positive. So this one is interesting. If you think privacy is going to be a big bet in crypto, Monero is a good one. I'm going to take a look at Zcash as well.
Zcash chart doesn't look too bad.
No, this isn't. Maybe set up a bottom here. Maybe a little bit of a flag on the daily for Zcash. I've seen people say like we're going to see like 10 to 15% of Bitcoin like flow into privacy coins over the next 2 years. Like anything, when you make a prediction, you have to like look at who's saying it, where their bags are, etc. But I definitely can see a case for people moving to more private money. Bitcoin was like sort of like the private money, but now since it's been basically so institutionalized, it's not really private. So some of these blockchains, some of these tokens that enforce privacy at a base layer are going to be attractive to a number of people. Zcash at 292. Last level of support was 350. Maybe we push up to 350 on a run here. Another one that's interesting for sure. One token that like I had my eye on for a while, but I haven't really I haven't bought this Canton token, CC. For those who aren't familiar, Canton is like a privacy chain with institutional focus. We talked about this briefly on the show. I want to say like a month or two back. We had Funky on, a normal contributor to Modern Market. He was on while the team was away, and we talked about Canton. I think somewhere around this like 10-cent mark before it dropped. It was basically right after they went live with on Hyperliquid. Essentially, this is like I said, privacy for institutions. And what caught my eye with this today was that Morgan Stanley over the weekend posted a software engineering job on the blockchain side, essentially saying they're looking to integrate 4 chains, Hyperliquid, Polygon, Ethereum, and Canton. So like that kind of caught my eye as being like, hey, the big players on the institutional side are actually looking at this. This would have been a giga cook from 10 cents to 16 cents. It's on a pullback here. This is another one I have my eye on. I might start a little DCA here on Canton as a privacy play. I mean, this thing is actually like pretty substantial. It has a pretty substantial market cap. Number 16 on coin market cap right now at $6 billion. So already a pretty established token. So upside capped a bit, but one that if this has the institutional and the privacy narrative behind it, I'm very interested in it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. What have you had your eye on lately, Easy? I'm curious.
Elon Musk tweets have been fun.
How have you been doing on those? What's your strategy been?
I'm using this site called Elon Tweets Live, and it gives me like predictions on it, and I'm just like tailing those, buying ranges where I'm like, okay, this is interesting. What might hit, what might not hit. Seems like he's back tweeting right now. Tweeted 9 times this hour.
This is Elon Tweets.live is the site here. For those just listening, basically tracking how often Elon tweets historically at different time points. I like this view a lot.
It's good. Yeah. I mean, there's like a paid membership for it. I said, fuck it, I'll just pay for it. I want to try it out. It gives you a couple days free.
So he's projected, they're saying right here,
258, but he's tweeting right now. So you still have now and 2 more hours, and the odds are flying on 260 to 279.
All right, so we're looking at this live on Polymarket now. 260 to 279 is at 56%. He started tweeting recently. This went up from 30 all the way up to 57. So
I'm going to buy some of the 260, 279.
So 260 to 279. Right now he's at 254. So that would mean you would have 6 tweets between now and noon Eastern.
Yep.
Somewhere between 6 and 25. The other way would be the nothing ever happens. you think he goes 5 or less in the next hour? The odds of this are decreasing by the second.
Yeah, I mean, this is already mooning right now.
Yeah, interesting on these. And you're
it's
basically
just been fun to trade them. Like they're fast. They're every couple days. 16 to 18 just opened up, and that's projected at 85, which is like very interesting to me.
16 to 18.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how many of these are out there.
Yeah. There's a lot of ranges, which is crazy.
Yeah. 16 to 18, he's at what? 37 right now, according to the site. This would close tomorrow. Favorite here is 65 to 89. I feel like taking this is like kind of tough. Like taking the 65.
He needs one more tweet right now to break into that 260 range, 260 to 279.
Oh, wow. He's just firing off?
Yeah. Yeah, which is fun.
Love to see it. Anything else you've been looking at on Polymarket outside of the Elon tweets?
I mean, a lot of this stuff's like more recent stuff, obviously, that I'm like interested in. Like stuff that's happening in real time is like probably the most interesting. So it's like what's happening with the Logan Paul card. Some of the Olympics markets have been interesting. But for the most part, it's been like a little bit more stagnant. I've been kind of just waiting to see what's going to happen. And I'd rather trade like a market that's going to resolve soon.
That makes sense. Sorry, I'm adjusting my boot pressure here. I have 2 markets that I'm looking at closely. Also, I've this comment just threw me off. We have Franklin Minty 1415 in YouTube. Never seen this guy before, but he said, "Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello." that thing just threw me for a loop. No clue what's going on there, but good morning to you too, Franklin Minty 1415. 2 markets that I'm looking at have to do with Iran. We had a bunch of news come out of Iran this morning. Macro news that could affect markets in general. We had long-range missile tests from Iran this morning. We had basically Iran offering nuclear concessions, but not offering an enrichment ban. And we had the Strait of Hormuz briefly closed this morning due to security precautions, which I think had to do with the missile testing for Iran. They tested missiles over the Strait of Hormuz. So my thoughts were what's going on with this Strait of Hormuz closure market by March 31st at 17%? Like, is this not included? Is this not going to resolve? Because reading the rules here, it says if Iran halts or severely restricts international maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz by March 31st, this market will resolve to yes, otherwise no. Primary resolution will be official government information. However, a consensus of credible reporting will also be used. So I don't understand like some of these international markets, and probably why I won't dive into them. But it's like it seems like it's being closed like for several hours. So like I don't know.
I feel like that should hit, right? Like that feels like it should.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna trade it because being at 30% makes me think that like, hey, if people were gonna resolve this, they would absolutely be like aping into the yes side and then trying to resolve. So I don't see that happening in the market. So I have to imagine that my take on this is like absolutely off base. Second market that we've talked about before was the enrichment market. Kix has been high on this one. Iran agrees to end enrichment by March 31st. It seems like they were saying that they don't want to offer that now. I mean, this is still at 14%. Actually went up after that news broke. So we'll see what happens here. But I'm also following along with that one closely. I thought that maybe them saying and like posturing that like we're not going to concede on enrichment may be a local bottom for a market like that, and that you have a whole nother month and a half for that to potentially move to the upside. So two markets I'm watching on the Iran side. I like the enrichment one more so than the straight, just because I just don't understand how that is going to get resolved. Is my fear there. You take any of the Netflix markets?
Not this week. I probably should have because there was a lot of back and forth on them.
Looks like
actually look at this. Yeah, Lincoln Lawyer looks like it's going to win for global. US.
Bridgerton.
None of these. It looks like they're all going to lose.
What do you mean? What's going to lose? Oh, you're looking at your site?
The US Netflix TV show. It looks like it's going to be a totally different show.
Oh, interesting. So how does that work?
They all resolve no.
This is like a negress market. So like won't one resolve yes, like an other or something?
No, because if the title's not on there, they all resolve no.
They don't just add that title in at the end?
No, sometimes they do, but most of the time it'll just resolve all no.
And when does this resolve?
Tomorrow. Technically, the data's already done because it's till Sunday, but it looks like it's Cat Williams, the last report.
Interesting.
Which I don't see on there.
I don't either. Yeah, I was looking to see if this was like, it doesn't look like it's marked as like a fully negative risk market, which you can like take the no and then like sell shares.
Yeah,
off.
I mean, Cat Williams was 1 for the entire week.
Interesting. You know what show I did watch over the weekend?
What show?
The Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Have you watched
How was that?
Really good.
It was good.
The 5th episode, which is the most recent one, apparently was like tied for like the best TV episode of all time in terms of rankings.
Interesting.
I don't know personally if I would put it there, but it was really good. It's like an interesting show. It's pretty cool.
Some of my friends are watching it. I haven't watched it.
Recommend it over on HBO if you have it. Let's see what else we got here. So Netflix show isn't going to resolve. Netflix movie. I figured out what was going on with How to Train Your Dragon. We talked about this last week. This is the live action How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, so it's a new one.
Yeah, it's probably the new one's first appearance on Netflix. So that's what happened there. I saw that pop up on Netflix. I was looking over the weekend, but it's a live action How to Train Your Dragon, so that's why it got a bit of traction. I was like, why would the first How to Train Your Dragon all of a sudden be the number 2
pop
movie?
Off like this?
Yeah, it just didn't make any sense.
Have you been playing the Cash City game at all from DeFi Dungeons team?
Yeah, I haven't. By playing, what I did was deposited Solana. It's just sitting there. I bought like a second intern. I think I just have 2 interns sitting there, and I haven't done anything. I haven't claimed. I think I bought a little bit of the token. Have you been playing actively?
I haven't. I haven't played at all.
Let me share that screen so you can see what's going on here. We've worked with DeFi Dungeons in the past. We're not working with Cash City. So this isn't like some sort of like paid promo or anything, but game popped up over the weekend. They basically made the heist and DeFi Dungeons. This is the latest of their games. I was trying to play this over the weekend. Essentially, I'm not even gonna be able to tell you like how it works. This is actually the first time. Can you hear the music?
Yep.
I like the music. Essentially, it's like a like one of the Ponzi type like staking games. So assets in this game. I gotta mute this. This is too much right now. I can't talk about this. All right, there we go. So the assets in this game are essentially like workers in a financial firm. It's got this cool little pixelated art type deal. You have an office with 8 desks. You populate them with workers. You basically buy packs with the cash token. They have different rarities for each tier. There's interns. There's I think advisors. There's different consumables you can buy. The mechanics of the token, I believe, are it's like infinitely mintable. So the supply isn't capped, but the thought is that the cash token gets spent inside the game and it becomes like a feedback loop, which would be kind of the best way to describe it. I'm going to pull up the cash chart. I haven't looked at this. It ran hard early and I think pulled back and now it's kind of like stabilized. So let me open it up on my other window here where I have Dex Screener. Cash token sitting at 1.9 million market cap right now. Just under 2. Like I said, this token is mintable, freezable. Due to the mechanics of the game, this thing ran to almost 8 mil out of the gates, crashed pretty hard, ran up to 2.5, now at 2. Classic like Ponzi type DeFi game on Solana. Cool graphics, good team. What's your play here, Easy?
It's tough to say now, like how early or late you are, right? Like you don't want to be late to a Ponzi game ever. Because what happens, right? Like nothing good ever happens. So for me, I'm more passive on this. I'd rather just wait and see if it can sustain for like a week and then maybe dip your toes in whenever they launch new mechanics. The Ponzi stuff's always interesting to me, obviously, because I'm like, this could have some potential new game. I mean, the chart's pretty flat.
Yeah. After that initial drop down, I mean, it's been like a magnet at 2 mil.
Yeah. Yep.
So we're sitting here now. I think with this, you probably want to look at price as well as market cap when you're judging this because token supply varies as people can claim.
Yeah, token goes up.
Risk in the comments. Narrator, it won't sustain. Yeah, I mean, over a long enough time.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Enough of these will crash to 0. But I want to pull back here. We'll see. Something that I need to probably do a little bit of managing over there. I just claimed enough to almost buy some more interns. Maybe I can just buy a bunch of interns, stick them in the seats, and then come back in a week to be happy. We'll see. Team has history in the space. That's an interesting one for sure. Anything else you've had your eye out on the token side, Memecoin side?
Not really. I mean, we saw Punch run really hard over the weekend, which was this monkey that some people liked, right?
This went like really hard.
Yeah.
16 mil right now. Still up.
That's crazy.
I mean, this was around like last week, late last week. This was launched a while ago, like early February 5th or 6th. Really started taking off on the 13th, and you still had time to buy. 13th it ran up to 7, almost 8 mil on the 14th, and then really took off on the 15th, which was Saturday, all the way up to 16. Pulled back to 8, and then you had another rally up to 16. So this one's been moving. Rick Star in the comments says new Mudang. I don't know much about this. I haven't looked into it too much.
New Mudang is crazy.
Yeah. Is this just another like cute monkey? Like what is the narrative here?
It's a cute monkey from the Japanese zoo that has a best friend that's a stuffed animal. It's pretty simple.
IKEA Spain posting a monkey stuffed animal.
Well, that's the monkey it's been carrying around.
That's really funny. So he like carries this monkey around.
It's a cute monkey.
definitely a cute monkey. That's the stuffed animal to carry on. Okay.
What's the market cap at?
16.
Okay, so it's holding well.
Yeah, I mean, it dipped overnight. Like at midnight, it was down to 8. Now it's rounding.
Yeah, so it's holding well.
Yeah. We got the rubber butt in the YouTube comments. Lost its mom. None of the other monkeys will accept it to the group because they don't like the stuffed animal. So there's like a little bit of narrative, a little bit of lore behind this monkey. I'm not in this. I'm probably not going to get into 15.5. So if you're someone who is interested in this, it's going up. And I think these things have topped. It's generally not the top. So
yeah, that's usually how it goes.
But I can promise you I won't be buying this monkey. So
I don't want to buy this. I do not want to buy this.
Moving the other way on the risk curve towards institutional investment from Memecoin investment. We saw Dragonfly Capital this morning announcing it's closed its 4th fund at $650 million, describing the current crypto venture landscape as a mass extinction event. The firm says it remains focused on crypto's shift towards financial infrastructure, including stablecoins, on-chain finance, and tokenized real-world assets. So essentially, looking at crypto from their perspective, saying, "Hey, all the trash is being lit on fire. We're going to see a new explosion of new apps, and they're going to be there to invest in the ashes," which isn't a bad plan. Normally, after these big drawdowns and bear markets, there's a lot of time to build, and a lot of interesting products get built in these bear markets. So not a bad time to invest at the bottom versus investing at FOMO. So I'd say this is overall bullish. Love to see capital continuing to be raised to flow into crypto. That's, I think, is a very, very much so a prerequisite to continuing to kind of see crypto bull run. So congrats to Dragonfly on raising, closing. Hopefully we see more of that in the future. I'm going to go on to some more quick hitters right now before we wrap. You can find all of these over at dailybones.com. You can get all of your crypto, macro, collectible, precious metal, prediction market news, all in one place. Dailybones.com. Publish a newsletter Monday through Friday with a weekend roundup of the most actionable and important stories of the week. Quick hitters from the newsletter. Wintermute launched tokenized gold trading internationally. Stake and Shake claims they have dramatically increased sales since beginning to accept Bitcoin payments. Morgan Stanley posts the software engineering job that we talked about earlier with integrations with Hyperliquid, Polygon, Ethereum, and Canton. OKX secured a European payments license for stablecoins and a new crypto card. Harvard rotated some of their Bitcoin position into Ethereum. The U.S. white-collar job openings per capita has hit an 11-year low, continuing to drive fear into those thinking our AI overlords will be taking all of our jobs. Meta patented AI tech that continues posting from deceased users' account. Very morbid there. OpenSea announced a March 30th live event. And the
Meta thing is so creepy, dude.
Yeah, really is. Last story, Flying Tulip public sale is now live. Let's talk about the Meta thing. Did you quote tweet this? Did you post about this?
Nick did. I did not.
I saw somebody post a 4chan post from 2023. Somebody working on this. It's called Project Lazarus, they said, for Facebook. And it posted after people had died, and they were saying like they had to leave the company because it was so or like
it was so dark.
Yeah, and it wasn't dark in the sense that like it's weird for dead like relatives to post. Like I'd be very creeped out if my dad just started posting, like he had just passed, and like that this just like weirds me out on that level. But the weirdest level of this is like the government disappearing people and people not even realizing it on social media. They're like the way he posited it in 4chan in 2023 was like an entire island of people could go missing and not a single person would notice, as like all social media accounts would continue to post everything, including pictures, aging, etc., over a time period. So very, very like wild repercussions for this sort of technology. It just feels very dark. I 100% agree with you there. Yeah, pretty crazy. I I talked about OpenSea's live event, which is happening March 30th. They talked about the token as well in a post. I want to highlight OpenSea very quickly. Their OpenSea token is coming. They tweeted about it saying that previous usage is going to play an important role. So this is them listening to the community, in my opinion, saying like, hey, we're going to reward those people who traded on OpenSea historically. So people who traded it maybe last cycle, first cycle, could be reaping rewards. I know that's been a big contention on the OpenSea airdrop talk. Live event posted for March 30th. Not sure they're going to be talking about the token there or announcing a date, but I want to use this to kind of jump into an NFT that actually is showing some life. Big shout out to Brad Mel, Bodalgo's Whale in the Discord. He's been hammering these since mint. This is a free mint. These are the Del Mundos. I saw these and I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever when he posted it, and he kept posting about it. I'm like, this guy,
lemons.
Yeah, he won't shut up about it. These are so dumb, and he just continued to be right again. And I can't believe I just faded this all the way up. These are now at 0.15. He was talking about this weekend at 0.04, last week at 0.02. These things have been on an upward trend. I was looking at these. Like he sent me some information on the Discord. These have basically all been like, these are like live like sculptures, like the way this is generated. These are sculptures like professionally shot with a background with these different traits on it. So it's like an artistic play slash a IP play. They're doing like different shorts on their website. I think they've done 3 episodes now, and these continue to get traction, and they're moving up. Seeing OGs in the space talking about this. D-Farmer made a post about it the other day, talking about the vibe of these, comparing them to Good Vibes Club, which have had a significant run, highlighting kind of like the art behind these. So interesting NFT. I'm again not going to buy these at 0.15, so you may be safe to run these up another 2x or whatever, because I'm going to be sitting on the sideline still with these and probably
send them to like half an ETH.
Yeah, so send these to half an ETH. But yeah, these are interesting to say the least. I just can't get into a PFP right now.
No
PFP play. I just can't do it. Even if these have a cool story, are getting traction and are moving, I just can't do it right now. Big shout out to Brad Mel though, surfacing this early in our Discord. That being said, I think we've covered most topics. Let me just do a quick walkthrough here to make sure we didn't miss anything. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered anything. Anything else that's been interesting to you in the market, Easy?
Not really. Like I said, I'm setting up this OpenClaw now.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, we're going to wrap the show a bit early today. We've covered everything. We'll get more tomorrow with Kicks on. Thank you all for listening. It's been a wonderful Tuesday here. We do this podcast Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. You can catch us on Spotify, Apple. You can also watch us back on YouTube, watch us back on Zora. You can see what we're talking about in real time.